Hello, Ollibobs. I've got a special story for you today. I haven't actually got a book, so I've made up a little story for you all about Ollibobs the mouse. So, let's begin. Ollibobs the mouse lived in a teeny tiny house. It had a teeny tiny lounge, a teeny tiny bed in a teeny tiny bedroom. He had a teeny tiny kitchen with a teeny tiny table. Ollibobs woke up bright and early one morning and he got dressed in his teeny tiny mouse clothes. He made himself a nice cup of tea and placed it on the table. But oh dear, the table leg came off and Ollibob's tea spilled all over the floor and broke the cup. He was most upset because his cousin mouse, Stannybobs, had given him the cup for his birthday and now he had nothing to drink his tea from. Oh dear, what could he do? Well, as you know, Ollibob's teeny tiny house was at the bottom of Oliver's garden. Ollibobs thought that perhaps if he went to Oliver's house, he might find something to replace the broken leg of his table and also a new cup. He also rather hoped he might find some food, for not only had he not had his cup of tea, but he was so upset about his table and his cup that he'd not felt up to making his breakfast, and he was very hungry. So Ollibobs put on his little mouse hat and coat and set off for Oliver's house at the bottom of the garden. Pitter patter he went until he got to Oliver's house. Fortunately for Ollibobs, Oliver's mummy had been hanging out the washing that morning and she'd left the kitchen door open. So Ollibobs crept quickly into the kitchen. Pitter patter. He wasn't sure whether to look for something to mend his table first or perhaps look for breakfast first. In the end, he decided that breakfast was the most important thing. His teeny tiny tummy was beginning to rumble. Ollibobs sniffed all around the kitchen floor. What could he find? He was pretty sure he'd find something to eat, because Oliver's daddy had been too busy cleaning his car the previous day to sweep the floor. Oliver's daddy liked his car to be clean, and Ollibobs liked it too, because he could see himself in the shiny wheels. He liked to see how he looked each day, as he was a very smart and tidy mouse. This morning, Ollibobs was in luck because Oliver's nanny had made some cake, and there were some scrummy crumbs on the floor. There was also some interesting green stuff. Ollibobs sniffed the green stuff. Oh dear, he said to himself, broccoli. Oh, I hate broccoli. I'm going to have the cake instead. I much prefer to have cake for breakfast than broccoli. He put the cake in the pouch in his mouth, found a nice little corner, and proceeded to eat his breakfast. He was so busy enjoying Nanny's cake that he didn't notice Oliver come into the kitchen until it was too late. Look, Mummy, a mouse, he cried. Oliver's mummy screamed and jumped onto a chair. Don't be silly, Mummy, said Oliver. He's a teeny tiny mouse and he can't hurt you. Ollibobs was very frightened by Oliver's mummy's screams and quickly ran out of the kitchen. He ran up the garden, pitter patter, and into the safety of his house. Gosh, he thought, that was a close thing. Then he realised that he hadn't got anything to fix his table with and he hadn't found another cup to replace his other one. Oh, well, said Ollibobs, no tea for me today and no table. However, I did have some of Nanny's yummy cake, so I'm a very happy, very full, teeny tiny mouse. And that's the end of that story. And the next story about Ollibobs the mouse will be about how he actually does find something to fix his table with, and he finds a new cup, and there's a special surprise for you in that story. So I look forward to telling you that one very soon. Lots of love, sweetheart. Bye.